man may not be on the top of his form, but he can still make himself useful.
Welcome back to the By Design podcast. I'm your host, Ronnie Knuckles. Today, we've got a really special guest. I'm excited for you all to hear him, Mr. Austin Sexton. Austin and I met through Cornerstone Community Church. We've had a lot of Cornerstone members on. We've had Austin's dad on, Chad Sexton, who is the Chad Life. That's his handle on TikTok and Facebook. He's always giving expert marriage advice. His son, Austin, is on staff at Cornerstone. He is a public high school teacher. He has a heart for the Lord. He has a heart for missions. And really, we get into a number of different things. Austin recently lost 80 pounds, almost 90 pounds. And he kind of walks us through that journey. He walks us through what it looks like to go and spread the gospel in Uganda. And just a very laid-back episode, but also a life-giving episode. And I think you will be blessed through hearing it. And so I'm excited. Again, I'd say it on every episode. We're trying to grow this show organically. We don't run ads. If you could rate the show, share the show with someone you know, that would be super helpful. We post clips on our social media. You can go and share those, or you can copy the link and share it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform you like to use. Those kind of things go a long way in helping us. And even just dropping a rating, giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Those ratings go a long way. And so I hate to beg for it. I'm not begging for it. But if you so choose, leaving us a rating would go a long way, and I would greatly appreciate it. With that said, I'll quit begging you for reviews. We're going to get into this episode with Austin. I hope you guys enjoy it. So yeah, man, Uganda. So you and Tim went with Cornerstone. When was that, Tim? October, maybe?
End of January.
Man, where'd you go in October? You went to Honduras in October.
January, same thing.
Yeah. No, June. Last June, I was in Honduras.
So anyway, Tim goes to Honduras in June. I don't know why I'm thinking October. Maybe I'm thinking of this coming October. You're planning on doing
going to Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
Quite different. Different.
Well, you're not just going to Pigeon Forge. You're going to Atlanta, Pigeon Forge, and then South Carolina. He's doing he's going to go to 2819. And then,
dude,
you seen that guy?
2819 is incredible.
Yeah. I want to go.
Philip Anthony Morris?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Mitchell.
Yeah. Mitchell. Sorry.
Matt Morris.
Sorry.
I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That was not why I said that. No, I'm just kidding.
No credit. No credit. No,
he's awesome, man.
He is so good. It's funny, because he's almost like a new age guy, but he preaches old school.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, he's hardcore. Did you see him last week call out the Black Israelites?
Yes. He said, "You will not bring that in my church."
He was like,
"We will throw you out.
I will escort you out."
Yeah. He said, "We will figure it out in the parking lot."
Good for you.
Yeah.
He's talked about them a bit.
No.
My security will escort you out.
Yeah. What's Danny going to do?
Love you, Matt.
No, it's, man, I tell you, he's been on fire. I would love to go down there and see him. And I like the fact that he doesn't let his ego get too big either, because it's super easy in that position. Yeah. And that's something that I kind of respect about what he's doing there.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's like...
his story's pretty incredible, too.
Yeah. He was a gangbanger, dude.
Yeah.
He was like... and he'll just straight say the stuff he used to do.
Oh, yeah.
And most pastors would never.
A few weeks ago, he was like talking about abortion, and he was like, I'm not critical. I've paid for my fair share of abortions. And I was like, all right, well,
dang.
Yeah,
but that's
he's vulnerable. He's thrown that out there.
Yeah.
Hey, one of my favorite ones, he was preaching one time. He said, "Ain't nobody pipe game worth going to hell over. His stroke ain't that nice." He said that for real in the sermon.
I heard him.
You got to make sure I'm not drinking coffee. Fire that one off.
What did he say one time? He was like, he said, "I was living in sin." He said, "I was driving with my knee. I was rolling a blunt with my left hand, and I had a baddie in the seat." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I get you trying to be vulnerable, man, but like, that was very detailed.
Yeah.
It's a little too much detail.
Yeah.
I like
Chill,
it.
dog.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but the detail took it to
No,
the
he's
next level.
incredible. I mean, he's very like, man, he's very traditional in a sense, but
Yeah.
you're right. Like, he is new core, and I think he brings something to the table that he just preaches the Bible.
Yeah.
In an area, Atlanta is not an
Yeah.
area where, there's a lot of population, which means a lot of false teaching is probably happening. So,
Yeah. And Atlanta's super, like, almost, it's a segregated city in a lot of ways.
yeah.
North side, rich, south side, poor.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's like, we see that in Louisville too with the West End and the East End, but it is like a huge difference. Like, you could be driving in Atlanta and you instantly know, oh no, this is way different. And he's able to pull both crowds because he teaches the Bible.
He also taps into hip hop culture in a way that nobody has ever done. He brings more of an element of being thugged out for Christ.
Yeah,
For real.
No, really.
But for real.
Yeah.
And and it's part of this whole movement, like with Christian hip hop has come along at the same time that he's burst onto the scene as well. So it's like this big culmination where, obviously orchestrated by God, to call unto those that are in the ghetto and have the hood mentality.
Yeah.
They need that type of a person to speak to them in the way that he speaks to them.
Yeah.
And I'm a suburban white dude, and it speaks to me.
Are you?
Right.
Super suburban white dude. Have
Right.
a podcast and everything, bro.
And so it's that, but then it transcends that too, because it can reach us.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well, that's my thing.
We're
I think-
kind of thugs. Though,
Oh
for
yeah,
real.
we had our time. We had our
Know what I'm
time
saying?
back in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, we're playing.
But the other thing is too,
Rockaware.
hip hop culture has become American culture. In the 80s, rock culture was American culture.
Yeah.
And now hip hop has kind of replaced that, and it's evolving, and it will continue to evolve into the next thing. But anyway, it's he's hitting a vein that speaks, I think, to all American culture. And he's doing it in a way, like you said, where it's biblical. It ain't about him. It ain't about really the movement per se. It's about Christ, and it's based on the Bible.
Which is a true testimony to how unifying the Word of God is.
Yeah, that's what I was
just
saying.
preach the Word of God.
Yeah, that's all you got to do, man.
Like, that's what's going to unify you.
Trust it.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
And the churches that are doing that, and they're preaching it in context, we had talked about this on another episode, are the churches you're seeing grow. The people that
Absolutely.
are the real, they're grainy, they're vulnerable, they're just preaching the word, those are the churches that are experiencing growth.
Absolutely.
And the churches that are trying to teach things out of context, or what they're more worried about tradition than they are the actual gospel and the word of God, and those are the churches that you see struggle. People today want vulnerability, they want genuineness. They don't care about your fluff and your traditions, and they don't care anymore. They want to know what the truth is. And I feel like when we were coming up, it was a little different.
No.
You know what I mean? But the culture's changing. And there's so much information in the world today that people just want to know what the truth is.
Well, it's also all about, as we sit here and film a podcast, but it's like we're such a content-driven culture, and we need to be relevant. We need to be super relevant. Oh, everything we preach needs to be relevant.
Yeah.
The Word of God is a timeless piece of literature inspired by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Like, how more relevant can you be?
Exactly.
So, I think especially seeing that with 28:19, it's like, hey, guys, wake up. When you preach the Word of God, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe not to that extent,
Right.
but you're going to see growth in the body.
Yeah. And change in people.
Absolutely.
People coming to Christ.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a mix. It's a mix of that, like strong biblical preaching, but also use the tools that are available to you.
Absolutely.
I hear a lot of Christians talking about how AI is a demon. Social media is
Alan Iverson?
Yeah, he's a demon.
He used to be on the basketball
Didn't you
court.
know?
Deafened over
Demonic. Anyways, and then like all of social media is bad.
Yeah.
I'm not on social media because this and this and this. What's on an algorithm? First of all, it shows you what you look for.
Right.
So
Or what you're not, or what you're gazing upon.
what? Yeah. So
You know what I mean? Those bikini videos
So
ain't
really,
sticking
you're-
around because you're
if
scrolling
you're-
past real quick.
if you're uncomfortable, it's because, well, it's a mirror. It's showing you what you apparently want to see. So change that. But also, it's a massive tool, for us to use, and that's what churches like 2819 are doing. It's
Absolutely.
like
That's fueled their growth. Yeah.
fire Bible preaching, but also promote.
100%.
Market the message. That's like the best way to fulfill the Great Commission right now.
Yeah, we're in the best time ever for every single person in this world to hear the Word of God.
Yeah.
That's why, a lot of the times I hear people say that, we're near the end and all this. And I've always been like, yeah, whatever. But now, in this age of information that we live in, part of the fulfillment of the prophecy is that the word will reach every corner of the earth. I don't know the exact terminology in the verse, but it's now more possible than it has ever been. Like, we are inching super close for that to be a reality because of the instant way we can communicate anywhere in the world.
Absolutely.
So, and I know that's kind of going to lean into what I wanted to talk about. So, first of all, you've preached at Cornerstone, and I know that you've preached at a few other places. And I wanted to actually, now that we're talking through it, I wanted to kind of hear how that came about. And then, since we're talking about spreading the gospel throughout the earth, Tim had gone to Uganda. You just got back from Uganda, and so I just wanted to hear. Tim has a heart for missions, and I think he's being called to the field. And I've not had that calling. I think that we talked about this, and we just had this episode with E.J. Lanham where we talked about this. I think we're all called to spread the gospel. And so I've definitely felt that calling. But as far as like taking my family and moving overseas and like working that out, that's not been a calling on my life. But I'm seeing that in Tim, and I see Cornerstone really getting behind this and really having an impact, like the new church that was just built. And I know Joseph pretty well, and I kind of get to see what he's doing and talk to him some. But we'll get there. First of all, how did you get into preaching? What was that like?
Yeah, so I, first and foremost, I'm a teacher. So I teach at Butler High School as I hit the microphone. Teach at Butler High School, and so vocationally, I'm not in ministry. To be upfront, my lifelong dream has kind of been to be in ministry. I say lifelong, for about 10, 12 years now, ever since I got saved. I got saved at the very end of high school, went through college, I worked with FCA in college.
We went to their dinner. Were you there that night?
Yes.
Yeah.
At U of L. So I worked for, not for U of L's FCA, but for the whole city of Louisville's FCA.
Oh, cool.
And so when I was doing that, just this call to ministry, it really started resonating with me. And then, we've talked about him already and you've had him on. But Matt, when we were at the church that we came from before Cornerstone, Valley View, which, gosh, Valley View, I love Valley View. Like, me being at Cornerstone has no representation of my thoughts about Valley View. Because, I think looking back at Valley View, like, those were some of my most cherished days as a Christian. I think that salvation story and having a church that discipled me so well is so special to me. And so I met Matt through Valley View, and, Matt's just really good at what he does.
Yeah.
And he hears that a lot, so I try not to tell him not too much.
He does a good job of not letting his head get too big.
Yeah, no, he's just good at it. I mean, there's there's guys that make you mad for just being good at things.
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon.
Hated him, but he was super good.
He's super good.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just kind of Matt and Jeff Gordon. I never thought that I would compare Matt and Jeff Gordon, but it is what it is. He backed into my car one time, so he's not a good driver.
So he's not Jeff Gordon. So he's not like Jeff Gordon.
But he blames me for that one. But anyway, Matt is really good at what he does. He preaches the word really good, and he has a way of conveying the word. I say this not as an insult, but to the everyday person.
Yeah.
Whether that person has been saved for 65 years or that person is coming to church for the very first time, I think he resonates with both of those groups very well. So I say all that to say that, getting close to him and just studying the word and seeing how he teaches it, that really inspired me. And so kind of I developed this love for preaching. I heard J.D. Greer, we were at a conference not too long ago, and he said something that really resonated with me. He said, if you're reading the Word of God and you aren't convicted to teach it, then you aren't studying hard enough, basically. And man, that's kind of just how I've always felt. I say that unpridefully, where, I read a section of Scripture and I dig so deep into it, just because that's kind of how my mind works. And, if I'm going to pick something apart, I want to be able to tell somebody else and teach it. So,
and teach it properly.
Yeah, and teach it properly and walk through that. And so, it's just kind of been years of developing this love for preaching and teaching. And, then I have this love for missions, that's where a love for evangelism comes from. So, like I said, unprivately, like I could talk about Jesus all day just because how much I love it.
Yeah.
And I love Jesus. And so I just want to preach.
No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, now I've never heard that before. Like if you're reading the Word and you're not inspired to teach it, then you're not reading it properly. But that's true, man.
And I don't think everyone has to be a teacher. Like, I don't think that has to be, hey, if I'm reading the Word and I don't
inspired
get up in
to tell someone, maybe the better.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That can be in a small group setting. That can be over breakfast at Chick-fil-A. Right. Anything you want. I don't think you necessarily have to stand up in front of a congregation, but there is something about the Holy Spirit's movement through the Word that should move you to want to tell people, hey, listen to what I just read. Yeah. Listen to what I just heard. So I think that's kind of where I'm at.
I like that, man. Yeah, I mean, I can see it in you. And I think, coming, first of all, someone that has a heart for missions and a heart to tell the gospel, what's interesting is the gospel, the Holy Spirit works in such a way where those people, there's a light that shines through them. You know what I'm saying? And it's not their light, but the Holy Spirit shines through those people, and you can tell when it's genuine. And something that we've talked about here and we struggled with a little bit, like with this podcast, because we were doing Bible study. Tim and I did Bible studies by ourselves for the first probably 6 months, and we'd pray every day. And
like a year.
I don't even. It was a while.
It was quite some time.
And we're praying for God to like bring people in to the business, and so, and then we were like, hey, you don't have to. We do a Bible study. It's not a requirement to be a Christian to work here, but it is part of the culture that we're trying to build here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then that kind of grew into this. All of a sudden, next thing you know, we're starting a podcast, and then we were going to do like one Bible study episode, and every single episode we start talking about Jesus and the Bible and whatever. It always.
And that's how it should be as a Christian.
It always comes back to that, and I'm like, if we're going to do it, one, we need to study it and we need to do it right. But two, that's a testament to Christ working in the conversations and showing his light through us and us allowing that to happen. Because you just can't, I can't get on here and not talk about that. No. I just can't, because it's in everything. It's in every situation going on in the world, every historical situation. You can see God in it all. And so, anyway, that
the all-consuming flame.
Yeah,
yeah. But anyway,
do you know who Herschel York is? Mm-mm. So Herschel York is the dean of the School of Theology at Southern, and he was a pastor.
Is that where you went?
At Buck Run. No, so I've never been to seminary.
Okay,
my plan is to start here in the next year or so.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So I'm looking forward to that. But
and you can tell Matt, haha.
Yeah, exactly. Look at me.
Yeah. Come with your job.
I don't know about that. I don't know if anybody wants that.
I wouldn't want that.
I'm not saying I don't want, I don't aspire to be in that position one day. I don't know if anybody wants me there. So we'll see how that goes.
It's a lot of pressure, but
yeah. But no, so anyway, he was a pastor in Frankfurt, also at Buck Run Baptist, but he has a rule, and he said if I'm talking to someone for more than 10 minutes and they haven't heard about Christ and they haven't heard about my wife, then I'm not doing my job as a Christian. And so I was like, man, that's really convicting.
Tim don't even wait that long.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't. That's the point.
I took this man with me.
Where did we go?
I traded my truck in.
Oh, yeah.
I had this Dodge Ram, dude, and it was getting like 9 miles to the gallon, and one thing after another was happening.
He was like, Dodge? Are you dodging Christ?
Hey, look, dude. So we get there. And the sales guy, I had already talked to him. They were like, "Oh, we'll have the paperwork ready when you." Because I hate being at car dealerships, dude. It's like worse than the doctor's office to me.
It's like prison.
Because I don't want to be upsold. I don't want you just have everything ready when I get there. Well, of course they don't. So we're sitting at the little table, and there's the little mini Jesus figurines that are around everywhere right now. Well, he's got one sitting there, and Tim sees it and he's looking at it, and the guy comes and sits down. And he goes, "So when did you come to know Christ, man?" Just right out of the gate, dude. Didn't ask him his name or nothing, bro. Just
Dude, that's how it should be. That's awesome, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I knew his name already. You told me.
But hey, I mean, the dude was like, yeah, I mean, you know, I was, I didn't really, I grew up that way, but I kind of got away from it. And then when I got married, you know, my wife and I started going to church. I go to Northside. And anyway, so he kind of told his story. But Tim was hounding him for like 5 minutes.
Hound him.
I'm trying to buy a truck,
Yeah,
dude. I was like, hey, bro, give me a minute. Let me get through the test drive here.
It's also a bold strategy when you're like still negotiating price.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
I think
you a Christian or
they had
you're
already
not?
screwed me over at that point.
What kind of Christian are you, anyway?
Yeah, this extra $20 a month ain't going to cut it, bud.
And then we ran into a sister in Christ as well, Shannon.
Oh, and she told her whole story.
That was a good story.
She's the one that distributes the Jesus figurines around the dealership.
She had a whole box of them.
So if you go to Coyle Chevrolet in Southern Indiana, there's Jesus figurines all over the place, thanks to Shannon.
Clarksville, Indiana. Shout out to Shannon and Cody.
Cody. Great deals on Chevys, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I'm not a big Chevy guy. I never was, but I like that truck. Anyway, yeah, she told her whole story about how she came to Christ through, and it's really a testament to God's blessing. You know, I don't want to spill her whole. We just said her name, so maybe I won't tell her whole story. But it's a story of God renewing.
Yeah.
You know, renewing things that seemed like they could never be renewed. But anyway, the conversation, just Tim throwing it out there, you know, just like unapologetically talking about Jesus, and got to hear two really cool stories of people that were already Christians, which
That's how it should be. Just break the ice.
yeah, and you know what, man? It made the anxiety of buying a truck kind of go away, to be honest. Felt kind of chill.
Because Jesus was there.
Yeah, seriously.
Tim was the MVP on that
Yeah, it
one.
was.
Tim and
That's right.
Christ.
I usually am. I'm a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. All right. I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Anyway,
Spotless.
so yeah, no, I like that. I think if Christ doesn't come up in conversation, especially with people you don't know, you're not doing something. And I struggle with that, by the way. Like if I meet someone at the store, I might talk to them for 20 or 30 minutes, but I always feel this tension afterwards, like, oh, I didn't talk about my faith at all.
Yeah.
I didn't give any, and I'm not saying you got to like do what Tim did and hammer them over the head right out of the gate.
Who are you talking to at the grocery store for 30 minutes?
I'm not.
Oh,
Okay.
I was about to say.
But I might talk to a guy about hunting if I'm like at Academy or I don't know,
Okay, there you
whatever.
go.
You know what I'm saying? Something. It comes up occasionally, and I talk to a lot of business owners on the phone too. And there'll be times where I'm like, dang, dude, like I didn't give any credit back. Because I always like, hey, man, how you doing? Like that's a great opportunity to be like, man, I'm doing really good. God's been really good to us lately. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Shine a little light. But then after the conversation, I'm like, dang, dude, I didn't give any credit where credit was due, and I had the opportunity there.
I just thought what you said.
By the way, if
know.
I'm ever talking to somebody at Kroger for 30 minutes, pull me out. All right? Come get me.
We'll put you down. Though.
Sorry.
Ronnie! Eggs!
What'd you just say?
Shining Christ light in conversations.
Yeah. What was your example of?
Well, just like when somebody asks you,
God's been great
God's been great
How's
to us.
things going? Yeah, man. God has been so good to us lately.
Yep.
Or you get a lot of people that ask you, like, how does it work, or how do you get the success, or how do you get the results for the clients? You know, and we could tie that back into like, well,
Actually doesn't have much to do with us.
right. We put this ahead of everything else, and we operate by biblical standards.
Mm-hmm. Man, I just had a great idea for my next Facebook post.
There you go.
There you go.
Right. You want me to write it down?
Nope. I got it right here, bub.
You sure?
Locked in. But that's true. Those are great opportunities
Yeah.
for us. And I think that's where, especially, I don't know, younger Christians maybe, we're not aware of when those, we talked about that this morning in our Bible study episode. This was kind of the vein of thought, was like, how do you share the gospel? So like say we were using like an atheist or someone who's agnostic, like how do you do that? And there was some debate over, sharing the word with them right out of the gate, or do you just shine the light and pray for them and hope that God, kind of the Holy Spirit kind of pierces that? And so anyway, it's been a train of thought today, and my opinion on that was we need to live in a way where they want what we've got.
Yeah.
We need to, we don't necessarily need to beat it over their head, but they need to look at us and be like, man, this guy's always at peace. He's always joyful. He loves everybody. Like, how does he do that? Because people aren't like that. and then we open the door for them to ask that question, you know.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so I want to get into the Uganda stuff, dude.
Yeah.
So Tim goes to Uganda, tells me all about it. Man takes 17 days off work. I was ready to kill him when he got back. But I heard a lot of really cool stories, man. Tim Morton went, and I got to see pictures of him preaching, which I never thought I would see, and that was super cool.
Yeah.
Tim is he's been around since we were kids. We used to go fishing with him at Nolan Lake, and
Tim's awesome, man.
yeah,
He's a good dude.
he is. Yeah, he pulled a hook out of my leg one time at Nolan Lake.
Nice.
It was rough. I got a barbed hook stuck in my shin, and he looked at me and he goes, "This is gonna hurt," and then he just popped it through the other side of my skin and cut the end off, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm about passed out." But anyway, they went on this little trip where there was a guy out there who claims to be God and like dresses in all white apparently and stuff. And he's like this following, and you guys got to go down there.
I don't remember his name. What's the feller's name up there in Hoima?
Man, honestly, I know about it.
Yeah.
I forgot it just because that's how little I care about it.
Yeah.
I know that sounds bad, but
It'd be fun to go fight him. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if I needed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Well,
I
you're
do
stone
know
cold
that.
now, so you have to.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
You know.
I do know. So where we go in Uganda, specifically this time around. So I'll back it up a little bit. So this past trip was about my 7th time in Uganda.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you'd gone that much, man.
Yeah. So I started going back in 2017. Went for a few years. COVID kind of got in the way of that, and then got married. Been a few times since I got married. And so originally I was going with another guy, Dick Clark, incredible guy. Met through Valley View. Now I've been going with Grant. Grant Logson is an elder at our church, which is who Tim went with also. And
Unreached 4K.
yeah, so he runs a ministry called Unreached 4K, and so Unreached 4K is one of the ministry partners at Cornerstone. So we kind of almost co-led this trip. Grant did a lot. I did minimal on the leading, but just wanted to kind of be there to help him. And but anyway, so we kind of co-partnered in this trip, and so where we were this time was called Hoima. And so this is actually where Joffrey, the pastor of the network that's over there, he's from there. And there is actually, so the cult is called the Basaka cult. And so back in the 80s, this guy, gained a big following, claimed to be God. Well, he ended up dying, kind of like gods do.
Yeah.
They die, right?
Yeah, the creator of the universe dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Every now and
So then his son was like, well, actually, I'm God. So now his son is the new cult
So
leader.
it's like Kim Jong-un situation.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
Pretty much. So, but there's a lot of followers, man. I mean, we're talking
Blows my
like,
mind.
I don't know if it was quite in the millions, but I think it was in like the hundreds of thousands.
No way, dude.
I could be way wrong, but I think that's what
It's like
Grant told me.
1,500. No, I'm just kidding.
It's 500 people.
There's at least thousands.
Let me
and
tell you this.
thousands.
There's at
Yeah.
a minimum dozens of
A
people
ton.
that follow this guy.
there are. I do want to say, I don't know if we can even look that number up, but
Yeah, I'll look it
Grant
up.
said that it was a lot.
Hang on. What'd you say it was called?
The Basaka
You're
cult.
going to have to spell that for me.
I think it's B-A.
1 second. You know what? My friend ChatGPT's got our back here. All right,
Okay.
B-A.
Basaka.
Come on, ChatGPT. Quit autocorrecting me,
Unbelievable.
dude. B-A-S-A-K-A. Cult.
Yep.
Uganda.
Yep.
Uganda. Stats. All right, let's
There's
see.
a ton of people that live in Uganda too, by the way.
Yeah, it's a pretty populated country.
Oh,
People
unbelievable.
don't think about Africa that way, but Africa's got a lot of populated countries,
Oh,
especially
dude.
on that side of the eastern
If you go to
side.
Kampala, which is Uganda's biggest city, it's like the size of like for people from Louisville, my South End folk, they know this. It's like the size of like PRP Valley Station in Shibley. There's like 2.5 million people that live there.
That's crazy, dude.
insane.
So it's
It's
super
the
super
the
condensed.
traffic.
It's unbelievable.
The traffic is.
It makes me
blow
want to
your
kill
mind.
someone.
Well, when we went to the Dominican Republic, it was like that, dude. Like there's no rules. You know what I mean? It's just
Oh,
like
no rules.
people are just doing whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm
You're
I'm
like
already
this
anxious.
close to every other
Yeah,
vehicle.
we had a semi truck that was like trying to get over, and the driver would not let him over, and the dude just came over, and our
Yeah.
driver was not going. I'm like, he's going to run us into the side.
They have
And
police
he's-
officers
oh,
everywhere,
yeah.
and like the police officers will just be like, "Run them over!" Like talking about motorcycles because they're wild.
They hate him.
So they'll just be like, "Run them over." I'm
That's
like,
crazy, dude.
Can't do that.
So
Yeah,
this is
they'll just pull out in front of a couple of our drivers when I was there. They're like, I'm seeing motorcycles coming, and then they're getting closer and closer, and then this guy just takes off, and I'm like, oh.
Well, didn't a little girl get hit when you were over there, or like right after you guys had left?
Do you know?
Yeah, I met her.
Princess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I met her.
Yeah, she got smacked by a Boda when we were there, and
Just the way he said that was the most unempathetic way to say it.
She did.
She got smacked by.
she did, dude. She got clobbered.
did. Praise God, she's
she was
doing
good.
well. So I
Yeah.
actually got to meet her and talk to her, and
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
she's doing good.
Yeah,
good.
she's my favorite. She's
Yeah,
my
she's
favorite
pretty
Ugandan.
that's good, man. So this actually, I underestimated
Okay.
what this guy had done. Okay, so I'm going to give the whole story here for a minute.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So the leader, his name is rough. It's Abu Osogobazagi
Okay.
Destio Basaka. That's his name. He was a former Catholic who proclaimed himself a deity with supernatural healing powers. He founded this in 1981. It was headquartered in the Kagadi district.
Yep.
The geographic reach, they have over 1,200 branches across Uganda, Rwanda, Congo, South Sudan, Kenya, and Tanzania.
Yeah, it's like past Uganda now.
Yeah.
It's not just.
Yeah,
it's
it is
not just
in
Uganda.
1, 2, 3, 4,
I had
5.
no
It's in
idea.
6 different countries.
Dang.
The estimated total of the memberships is around tens of thousands. Some reports suggest around 2 million followers,
Yeah.
though that figure may reflect a broader influence rather than direct congregation counts. So congregation counts can be assumed to be in the tens of thousands of
Yeah.
actual followers. And then it just kind of goes through incidents. They had a kind of a terroristic incident. The guy died in 2021, and his son, Amakawanda Akuza, blah, blah, blah. He was the youngest son, was elected in mid-2001 as the leader of Faith and Unity. That's their thing, Faith and Unity. Followers believe the God bloodline continues through the son, citing vision and hopes for Basaka's return. So they think that the guy is going to return. That's wild, though.
He's not.
It's wild to me that something like that can amass tens of thousands of followers.
Oh yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's actually
And that's Satan,
it's really,
man.
that's what I'm saying. It's really sad to see that.
It's
you know?
powerful, and so that's where we planted the church.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of growth.
Yeah.
And there are,
I mean, that church was
former-
awesome, dude. It was just
Yeah, it was
just
And
incredible.
they built
and-
it lickety split.
Yeah.
Like-
So that's not the church that we built back in December.
No, a different one, right?
We
right.
built a different one,
Right.
and so this one
Different
we actually
area, right?
we're growing so fast that we actually I say we the church over there is growing so fast. The church that we support that they had to build it bigger than any of the other churches,
Oh,
and
that's
it's
cool.
the youngest church.
It's a nice big brick building. Has
Yeah.
a nice staircase going up to it. It's really cool.
Did they? Is it Cornerstone Pachwa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's kind of cool too.
Yeah.
You know that Cornerstone's got
Yeah.
a bunch of little churches. So how many Ugandan Cornerstones are there? 3?
So we've planted. This will be the 5th church.
Okay.
Let me think about it. Hold on. So you got Ndeje. You got trying to think. Chibajwe,
Bembe?
Bimbe, Pachwa. Am I missing one, or is this the 4th? I feel like I'm missing one. I feel terrible.
I don't know.
Yes, I am. The one that we planted last year. I forget the name.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Was that the one
So
you went to in
this
June?
is the 5th.
They had the party back in
Yes.
when I was there.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real mad at myself.
The
'cause I can't
sewing
remember
the
that.
students graduated. Is that where you're talking
So
about?
that might have been Bimbe.
I think that was Chibajwe.
Chibaj. Or yes,
You guys
Chibajwe.
are
That's what I
speaking a
meant.
different language right now. I have no
They're
idea.
just
what y'all are
town
saying.
It is a different language. It's Lugandan. Gosh, I'm gonna be mad
Lugandan?
at myself. Lugandan, yeah.
Where would
So-
the L come from?
Don't ask me. I don't
Language.
Hmm.
know. Yeah.
Language. Uganda.
I speak a little Lugandan.
You know, in Afghanistan, you don't call them Afghanis. It's not an Afghan. They're in Afghanistan, but the language they speak is actually Pashtun.
Oh, really?
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Although Chinese, I guess they speak Mandarin.
Yeah. So I'm actually learning a little bit of Lugandan. When I started going over there, I probably knew.
What's the base language for that? Is there a base language for it,
I mean,
like Spanish or?
no. So I will say about Uganda, English is probably the most spoken language. It is very. I mean, obviously, it's still thinking about Africa. It's very tribal still in some aspects. Maybe not government wise, but I think that there's. I want to say that there's over 50 languages in Uganda.
It's crazy.
English is probably the biggest. It's more of a trade language, and Luganda is probably the most traditional native language. Now I'm going through my photos. I'll correct myself. We planted 4, so this is the 4th church.
Okay.
So there's Bimbe was first, or excuse me, Chibajwe was first, Bimbe was second, and Deje was third, and then Pachwa is now the 4th.
Okay.
So Pachwa is a pretty decent way away. And Deje, Chibajwe, and Bimbe are all relatively close to an area called Bombo, which is just north of Kampala, the biggest city. And then Pachwa is up in the Hoima area, and it's
which is where
5-6 hours away.
And that's where this guy was.
Yeah,
it's like their main hub.
It's his hub, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Right in the heart of it.
Didn't they just strike some oil up there too, or something?
Oh yeah, so they're building an international airport
crazy
up there, and so that area is going to be popping here soon. And so the government, they found oil, and they're trying to, which would be nice if they could build an airport up there. It'd save us 5 or 6 hour drive.
Yeah.
How long is the drive? Where do you guys fly into? What town?
So we fly
into like a border town, right?
Entebbe. Yep, Entebbe is the capital.
Is that border Ethiopia or something?
No, it's on Lake
Rwanda.
Victoria.
Oh, okay.
So
is it on the border of Rwanda? Or
no,
close?
Rwanda's still about 3-4 hours south. So you have Lake Victoria.
Okay.
I'm drawing on the table. They probably can't see this. You have Lake Victoria. You have Entebbe, which is here. Kampala here, and then you go north, which is Bombo.
Yeah.
And then Rwanda's like down here.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So something that is interesting to me is as
You do fly into Rwanda though, which makes me.
Oh, you
so
fly
angry.
into Rwanda?
Well, so you can't fly directly into Entebbe International Airport because, and I don't know the whole story of this, but like 25, 30 years ago, there was a literal battle that took place. Something to do with the prime minister of Israel's brother.
I think there's like some documentaries about that.
Yeah. So it was like a 7-day battle. And ever since then, they've been real staunch, probably rightfully so, on international flights coming in. So they actually fly into Rwanda first, drop a whole bunch of people off, then they fly into Entebbe.
That's interesting.
But you don't got to do that on the way out. You just fly straight from Entebbe to Europe, which is weird.
Strange.
I met a guy. We stopped in Rwanda, and I actually got to pray for him and everything before we left each other in Entebbe. He was basically making a reverse trip of what we had just made.
Okay.
So we were on our way to Uganda. I meet this guy.
So he got on in Rwanda.
In Rwanda, flew with us to Entebbe.
It's like 45 minutes.
Right, and we were talking the whole time. He had like a some type of rosary or cross necklace thing on, and so we talked about Jesus and stuff. But his name's Alan, and he moved. He was the last one in his family, I think, to move from Rwanda to Canada.
Oh, wow.
And he's there now, and he's got a job, and
that's awesome.
His sister's going to school, and his parents are living with him, and
that's cool.
That's awesome.
It's really neat.
So one of the things that stands out to me, just as I hear both stories, and I've heard Tim talk about this in a little bit more detail, but the reception to the gospel there. Mm-hmm. It's like in America, American culture is so, and people talk bad about American culture a lot. Okay, so I'm not trying to do that, but we're used to it. We're just used to hearing the gospel. We're desensitized to the miracle of the gospel. And we're desensitized to the true grace of God. And over there, they're not. I mean, you're going to encounter people who've never heard that before, and it's like they're uncovering this new truth they never heard of.
It's a beautiful thing.
I was going to say, what's that like when someone hears the gospel for the first time, and then they react in a way like, oh, I've never heard this.
I would even take it a step further. There's the name Jesus has been heard in Uganda. I mean, it's fairly common for people to say, yeah, I'm a Christian.
Oh, really?
And then have no clue what that means. I mean, there's been times where I've preached and someone will come up to me afterwards and they're like, wait, Jesus died?
Oh,
and
so it's
like,
almost like a
Yeah, it's like
a character
culturally,
to them.
it's the same for Islam or being a Muslim. There's a lot of cultural Muslims
Yeah.
that live in Uganda, and then you ask them about the Quran, and they're like, I don't know. And so same thing with Christians over there is you'll preach a message, and they're like, Jesus died and resurrected, and you're like, yeah, thought you knew that.
Yeah.
But no, it's a beautiful thing to see someone. I mean, it's like you said, like here in America, like people know, I don't say this in a bad way, but Jesus has almost became like a children's story in America where
we've
it's
talked
like,
about that a lot.
yeah, it's like here, on Easter we celebrate Jesus. Here's the Easter story, and which is a good thing. Like kids need to hear that.
Yeah.
But then you have a whole generation of people that grow up and they have no relationship with Jesus, but they have just enough knowledge to know. So they are like, yeah, I know God.
Right.
But to see someone that has no clue what Jesus did in his death and resurrection and ascension back to heaven, to bring us with him one day, like, oh my gosh, you would think like
that's what I've heard. I've heard it's crazy.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of people that you experience that have no clue, it's a beautiful thing. We talked. I can't remember if we were recording yet or not about kind of the calling of that, and I'm not necessarily called to where, at least not in this season of my life, where I'm going to move my family overseas and be a full-time vocational missionary, but I do really encourage a lot of people, like, hey, go on a trip. Short-term mission trips are, they are valuable. They're very valuable. There can be some that, I have my ideas about short-term mission trips and how they should go and how some people do short-term mission trips. At the end of the day, you are going, so it's hard to be too knick-knacky about that.
Right.
So, I think going on a very intentional short-term mission trip that seeks to, one, spread the gospel first and foremost, and two, help serve the people that you're going to in a way that's going to mean a lot when you leave.
Right. Not just giving them socks.
Yeah, exactly. Like find something intentionally that when you leave, you have made an impact that is going to go forth. Right. And that's what we love about, not bragging on us, but we're very intentional about what we do when we go to Uganda. Tim can testify to this, that Joffrey, the guy that leads the network over there, is probably, there's few people in my life that I would trust with my life. That's probably trust issues in me, but Joffrey is one of those guys. And, there's very few people in Uganda. Joseph, our driver, is another one.
Is this Joseph the Joseph I know, or a different Joseph?
There's two different Josephs. So there's JD, Joseph Diano.
That's the one I know.
Joseph, he's another one.
Both of them really.
Like, love JD. I've known JD for about 8 years. Love him to death. But so Joseph, our driver, like all those guys, like I trust with my life. And the reason I say that is because I trust that when we leave, the ministry is going to go forth. I think a lot of people go on these mission trips, and at the end of the day, like I said, you are going, you are spreading the name of Christ, so you are doing something, right? Which is good. I would just encourage people, go on a mission trip that is going to mean something when you leave. And then when you go on that, to see people's perspective change about the gospel, not just the people that you went to, but the people that went, is incredible. Yeah. I mean, people come home. I think of guys like Tim Morton, who, he went to Uganda, and now every time we talk, we're talking about Uganda, and he's talking about something different that he's doing. He has his own ministry that he's doing.
He's on
Absolutely.
fire.
And so that to see that come back with him and to see the blessing in his life that has become, man, it's incredible.
Yeah. No, I mean, when Tim came back, he was a little weird for like a week or two there. Remember that? And he was just like, I'm just trying to still process it all. Yeah. And that's a testament, to, like you said, the life change that the Holy Spirit can have, not in the people who have heard it for the first time, but the people who know the Holy Spirit, and they get to experience this power of it that they haven't tasted before.
Absolutely.
It's supernatural, man. Yeah. I remember, even several weeks before going, it was like the Spirit was communicating with me. Yeah. Like, what you're about to get into is going to shake everything loose, man.
Well, it changed your life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've seen a difference since you've come back. And anyway, it is awesome how the Holy Spirit can move. And something that, so I want to go on a trip. I want to go to Israel too, even though, that's crazy over there.
Right now?
I would go right now. I've been to worse places.
Yeah, that is true.
You could probably sign up with a particular group of fellas and go.
Yeah, I'm sure I could. I'm not that serious about fighting their wars, but I just want to go over there and check it out. You know what I mean?
So I've never been to Israel. I really want to go.
Yeah, I really wanted to go. You know, they had invited me to the last one they went on, and Corey went.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know Corey Hurdle.
Yep.
Riot, the guy that does our Bible reading, works with Corey. He's like this VP. And so anyway, we see him a few times a week. He comes in for the Bible study. But anyway, he went and really talked about it. And actually, funny story, Tim Morton's son, Barrett, he kind of grew up with me and Tim. And back in the day, I was probably 15. Barrett's parents were going to pay for me to go to Israel with them, with like Ralph Sexton was taking a group or something.
Okay.
And Barrett and I got in like some fight about a girl, I think. And I ended up not going. With him, and I'm like, "Why was I such an?" I
Did
got a
either
free
of you
trip
marry
to-
this girl?
No, of course not.
Should have went to Israel.
Yeah, so dumb. I always think back like, oh man. But I really want to go. I really want to go at some point. I want to do that for my own faith kind of building, and seeing the historical sites, but then also going on a mission trip, man. And that's something we've talked about through using Spearcrest. Spearcrest is the reason we get to do the podcast, and so I think God is using the company in that way. But beyond that, we've talked about starting a mission fund when we get healthy enough, and we're getting close, but where we get healthy enough as a business, we take a certain amount of funds. By the way, if you're a business owner listening to this, it gets a little weird. There's kind of like some weird gray area there for like tax write-offs and stuff like that. But either way, we're going to navigate that and then eventually start a mission fund and then partner with someone in Uganda or whatever to where we can directly have impact. And I think, I don't know, man, that's where I feel like God is kind of drawing us and pulling us. And, we have, obviously you're here talking about it. We have Tim in here talking about it. And the doors are starting to open up. The vision is getting a little bit more clear. And I think that, for people listen, we have a lot of business owners listen to this podcast. You want to know how to make an impact, leverage what God has given you to give back to the kingdom.
Absolutely.
And even if you're not able to in that moment, have the intention to, and he'll open those doors and allow you to do that. And so anyway, I think through this Uganda thing specifically, a lot of that has begun to kind of get revealed to us as we get closer to that. So that's really why I wanted to hear, what you guys have done so far. I mean, just 4 churches alone, that's going to change potentially millions of lives over the course of years.
And they're constantly looking. I mean, that's one reason I love going over there and trusting when we leave that it's going to go forth is they're constantly looking for different areas. So it's the burden isn't necessarily on our side to, hey, you guys need to be doing this, this, and this.
Yeah.
They are very active. So when we go over there, we're like, hey.
You're just supplemental.
What do you guys need?
Yeah.
What do you guys want?
It felt like half the time they were telling us about what they had done, what they were currently doing, and what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
That's cool. It's good to have that. Yeah, every time I've talked to Joseph, it was weird when he first started messaging me. I think he thought I went with Cornerstone.
Okay.
Like he probably just saw like I had been to church or something on Facebook and thought that I went to Uganda.
Yeah.
And he was like, started messaging me. I'm like, who's this messaging me right now? And then
He's wild. Man.
And then come to find out, I don't know who it was, told me that, oh yeah, he was over there with us. When we went for our mission trip, he's a super good dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I started talking to him. They battle with malaria and like all kinds of stuff. He'll message me about it all the time. He's gotten malaria like 5 times since I've known him over the last 2 years.
Oh, they all.
Yeah.
That's just the 5 times he told you about.
Yeah. They're like trying to dig a well for water in his village.
A lot of people don't know this. It's like, and you probably know this from military. But dude, you get malaria and it's a life thing.
Oh, we used to take malaria pills.
Yeah.
You're supposed to take these malaria pills, and they would give you the weirdest dreams.
Doxy?
I think it was doxycycline.
Yeah, dude. I take it every single time, and let me tell you.
So it got blacklisted when we were in.
That's great to know that I'm over there just taking it, and the military's like, don't take that.
It was so serious. Like, they were so serious about us taking it because it could kill you, especially if you've like not built an immunity up to it or like some kind of resistance up to it. So they were real serious.
And if you don't eat Like before taking it.
No, you have
like I
to
know a
eat.
lot of doctors are like, eat some food before you take
No,
this
no.
medicine. No, dog, you need to eat before you take that.
Yeah,
one.
you finish an MRE and then you pop it. But then you're going to have.
I burped one time after taking a pill and burped up powder. I was like, what in the world is
It's
going
real
on?
bad for you,
Oh
dude.
no!
Yeah.
So, but it'll clear your skin up really nicely, and like it removes all the bad. It kills a lot of toxins in your body. It like eliminates, but it also kills a lot of good stuff too, like gut bacteria and all this stuff. We were taking it, dude, and like in most of the time in dreams, if something bad is happening, you're usually the one that the aggression is happening to, or like you might be in a fight, but like you can't punch. Anytime I was taking that stuff, dude, I would have the most violent dreams, and I was the aggressor. I had a dream that this is way too much information, but I had a dream that I chased this dude down with a chainsaw and just cut him up. And I was like, I got to stop taking this stuff. Stop taking it. Dreams went back to normal, and every day the Navy corpsman would come around and be like, hey, man, did you take your pill? I'd be like, yeah, dude, I took it. Nah, I was burying it in the sand, bro.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'll take my chances, dude. I get malaria. I ain't taking this no more.
Show me under your tongue.
But that was like 6 months of taking it.
Yeah.
So like it really begins to. And then we found out after it's going to be one of those things like, do you have mesothelioma?
Oh yeah, there will
It's gonna be some
definitely
weird
be an
cancer.
infomercial on it. That's 10
Do you
times
drink the
louder
water
than
at
any
Camp
of them.
Lejeune?
Yeah, you have 6 elbows now.
Did you take doxycycline in between the?
Yeah, for real. That's how it's going to be, blasting out the TV.
Like, oh, gosh.
Yeah. So anyway,
I think I did take that.
speaking of supplements,
Okay.
There we go.
huh?
Nice transition.
Like that transition?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's good. What's it called? What's the new thing you're doing called, first of all? And I know that you recently lost
It's called losing weight.
No, that's not what it's called. It's called like Dad Bod. Christian
Oh,
Dad.
yeah. So
Dad Life.
I started a new social media account. It's called Simple Fitness Dads.
Yes.
The corniest name in the world.
Hey, dude.
I didn't know.
Sometimes corny is,
Yeah, I mean,
That's the way to go.
I didn't know what
Corny,
else to
it's
do.
Simple and concise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, I lost a bunch of weight, and I kind of wish I would have documented it better. Only because, I hope to humbly say this. Now when I look on Instagram and Facebook and everything, like I have a bunch of fitness videos come up, and so that's good. But there's like, I don't know, some of these fitness influencers,
A lot of egos.
it's like a lot of ego, and it's like either like look at me or look how much knowledge I have, and so I think a lot of people probably watch those videos and think, good for them, but I could never do that or something like that, and so when I started losing weight, I didn't go on really any specific diet. I didn't go spend a bunch of money. Thankfully, and I never took a shot. I never got on the Ozempic. Never did anything like that.
A lot of bad stuff coming out about that. recently.
Yeah, right. And so, I'm thankfully I can say that I never did that, but I say all that to say, like, now that I'm on the other side of that, and I'm still in this journey of getting more healthy, and I have my own convictions for why I did that, and but I say all that to say, like, there's probably a whole demographic of people out there that are on Instagram or TikTok that probably desire to lose 30, 40, 50 pounds, and they watch these videos and they're like frustrated because they're like, I can't relate with that.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's doing burpees while telling me how to do that. He just did a muscle up. What are we doing
I
right
see
now?
that all the time. They're like, if you want to lose belly fat, do these 5 exercises. And I'm like, you are already jacked,
Give me
bro.
45 minutes a day
Yeah.
for 90 days.
Yeah.
And you're like, dog, no one wants to hear that.
No.
Like,
Also, you have like an 8-pack, brother.
yeah, exactly.
That's not. It took you years to get that. So quit playing.
At 270 pounds, guess what I was doing to that video? Reporting it. I was like, I hate you. I didn't
you
really
get
hate him,
banned.
but I was
Yeah.
mad, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing all that.
And you
But-
and I are about the same height.
yeah, so
right? So how tall are you?
5'8".
Yeah, I'm 5'8". I'm
6'8",
5'8", and I
6'8".
was, yeah 6'8". Whoops, misspoke.
Yeah.
I weighed, the heaviest I ever got was almost 240. I was like 238. And you were 270.
So I was 270.
Dang, man.
270
I didn't realize
all
that.
stomach, bro.
I didn't realize that.
All stomach and neck.
That's about what I was at my heaviest.
You know what's weird is
270,
when
280.
you lose weight or like someone you know loses weight, you don't hardly remember what they look like before or after you see them a couple times.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? How
Yeah.
your brain just kind of does that?
Or as
Because I don't remember you being 270.
Oh, bro, it was.
I don't remember you. I don't know.
Yeah, it was rough.
It's hard for
man.
me to picture now.
You know, and being able to see my feet when I look down is nice. And
Tying your shoes. And
yeah,
big win.
doesn't want to, it doesn't make me want to die when I do that. And no, so kind of the hope of this new page, and gosh, I think I have like a couple hundred followers, so it's not anything crazy. But my thing is like I just want to make. Here's the simple changes that I made.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't spend hundreds of dollars. Yeah, I like to go to the gym, but I don't spend 3 hours a day in the gym. And, so kind of just taking these simple changes and making them real, I guess you would say down to earth, like, hey, this is what this means.
Yeah.
So instead of just coming on and being like, you need to lower your cortisol levels. Like, okay, yeah, you should do that, but like, let me tell you why. First off, let's look at what cortisol means. And
Yeah.
so just all this stuff.
Well, like you had one the other day where you were talking about like what you typically may think is a high protein food may not actually be a high protein food.
Yeah.
And like these are things I've heard and that I know, but also like, super processed protein is not the same as eating a piece of chicken breast.
100%.
And so it's like having someone that just simply talks about that is good. And there's another guy I follow, not to take away from, but
absolutely.
he's more on the food stuff, not really the fitness side or like his journey.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a critic of fitness people in a lot of ways, but he's jacked too.
Yeah.
But he's like, he'll take like an energy drink or, whatever, and he'll compare them and be like, well, this is why it's really not that big of a deal if you drink this. Like everybody says this is super bad for you. It's not that big of a deal. And then he'll take what are the pre-mixed protein drinks you can get? Like the little cow on it.
Premier.
The one that Austin brings up here. They got a lot of protein in them.
Like the Fairlife ones?
Fairlife, yeah.
They're
Delicious,
pretty good.
by the way. Delicious. So he's like, I hear everybody saying you shouldn't be drinking the Fairlife protein. You should be drinking like a mix. So like I drink First Form, right?
Yeah.
Just as an example. But that's a high dollar protein. I just like it because it's got cool flavors.
No.
But he's like comparing something like that, right? And he's like going through the ingredients list, and he's like, yes, this high dollar protein is better for you, but not by a super comparable amount. The fact that you are drinking protein and getting it in your body after a workout is important, right?
100%.
So like just little things like that. There aren't many people like you that are just keeping it real.
Protein is, a lot of people don't realize, like, I think when people think about protein, they're like, all right, man, I'm only going to eat protein if I'm trying to like bulk. You're like, no, you need protein.
Especially males.
Yeah, 100%. And however you get that protein is your prerogative, but you need protein. And so I've lost 90 pounds and I'm taking in more protein than I've probably ever taken in more protein in my life.
It's hard too, isn't it? To like hit your protein numbers.
Yeah. It's something I worry about every day.
It's hard to do.
I've dug in too deep. It's kind of how I live my life. It's like,
You've lost 90 pounds, bro.
Yeah.
So you weigh what, 180?
I was 181 this morning.
Man, that's
so
crazy.
89 pounds.
Yeah.
Fine.
That's crazy.
But, it's like, but especially in the cutting process. So protein is really good for basically, the most simple way to explain it is when you increase your protein intake during a cutting phase, you are telling your body, hey, don't get rid of muscle, get rid of body fat. So you're protecting your muscle.
So your body automatically knows where to move that protein.
Yeah,
to sustain the muscle.
Because it's all about recovery. It's all about fueling your muscles. And so when you increase your protein intake while you're trying to lose weight, you are basically training your body to clear house of body fat and
That's
not
cool.
muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that, lifting weights is the better way to lose. A lot of people think, I need to go run 3 miles a day or whatever. Walking and lifting are really the two, at least in my experience, the two best ways to lose.
I've lost 90 pounds and I don't run.
Yeah.
Every
I didn't either when I lost
Every
all
now
my
and then
weight.
I'll go run just to say that I did it, I guess.
Yeah.
I hate running. I literally hate it. I ran 3 miles the other day and, I was fine afterwards. I hated every second of it.
I like running, dude. I'm one of those weirdos. But I think
you are weird. People that like running and they're like, I get this runner's high. I'm like, no.
Well,
I'm so bored the whole entire time.
First of all, you have to run outside.
I was outside.
I can't run on the treadmill.
It's
miserable.
That's awful.
I walk on the treadmill in here for today. I'm trying to get around like 8 minutes. So I walked for 6 minutes, ran for 2, any longer than that, and I would have been ready to kill myself by the end of it.
Yeah.
I hate doing that. Outside, I think I kind of developed a love for running. I ran my senior year of high school to get ready for the Marine Corps. I ran cross country, which with the short shorts and the tank tops, it was highly embarrassing. But
yeah, buddy.
I started to like running then. I hated it up until then. I was a basketball player. And I hated like doing suicides and stuff.
Yeah.
But I started to like running then, and in the Marine Corps I started to like it, and then my body kind of started to break down. And maybe it's the nostalgia for running that I miss, but I always tell myself like, man, I would love to just be able to go on a 5-mile run right now.
Yeah.
It might just be nostalgic though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think I liked it back then, but
no, protein's where it's at, man.
So walk me through that. Like, walk me through. You're 270 pounds. You're 5'8". I know what it feels like to be 5'8".
Yeah.
I know what it feels like to be 240, and that was extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What motivated you? And I have something I want to bring up, but I want to hear your own personal motivations to drop that weight. What was that?
Yeah, I mean, so back last fall, I'll just be vulnerable. I haven't told a lot of people this, but I started having panic attacks. And so, one day at home, I had a panic attack and passed out. I thought I was having a heart attack. So I probably should have went to the emergency room. I didn't. I did the male thing, and I was like, just let me lay down for a little bit. But then, so it happened again. I didn't pass out this time, but we were at church, and so my grandfather lives close to church. I drove to his house, put his blood pressure cup on. My blood pressure was like 190 over 120 or something insane.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. Still didn't go to the ER that night. But then I went to the doctor, and they did some blood work on me. And so when the blood work came back, they were like, hey, first off, she was like, how old are you? And I was like, that's probably not. You probably don't need to ask that question. If you're
What
about
are you,
to
like
tell me something
27,
bad.
26, 27?
27.
Yeah.
So she was like, well, everything else doesn't look terrible. Obviously, you're out of shape. And, she didn't say it like that, but she might as well have. And so, but she did say, she was like, your triglycerides are insane. And I was like, you're going to have to break that down. And
Yeah,
she
I
was
have
like,
no idea
well,
what you mean.
she was like, you're pretty much on a one-way track to diabetes and heart disease. And so I think being 27 years old and, obviously having a wife and having a 2-year-old, and we had my wife is still pregnant. She's literally expecting any second. So this, kind of happened. And so literally that was like a couple weeks. Like we had just found out that she was pregnant with our second. So I kind of made that decision where I was like, man, I feel terrible. Like getting off the ground with my daughter Ellie was atrocious. It made me want to die. And, just coming home from work and not being able to walk in the door and be ready for my family was not great.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my biggest reason is just, I wasn't necessarily worried about how I looked as much as how I felt. Now, it's looks come with, your physique comes with how you feel in health. But, this whole entire time it's just been about longevity, like being there for my family and
having kids change.
Being strong for them. I think that they're like being a dad, you should be strong physically for your family. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Like there's a lot of guys out there that probably don't feel like that.
I think I think if you are not, or that isn't at least something that bothers you, if you're not one of these strong dads or in shape dads, then you need to do a little heart.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to be able to deadlift 500 pounds.
You don't have to be Vin Diesel.
Yeah, but like there should be an aspect about you that you should be convicted in your health, and that's where I was. I don't want to be that guy that loses 90 pounds and be like, you should do this. But that's how I felt. Is like I'm not as a dad. One, I'm treating my body bad, and this body doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Christ. And two, like whatever happens to me directly and adversely impacts my family.
Yeah, yeah.
So why not take care of myself? Because then I'm better taking care of my family.
Man, that's so good. I hope that someone hears that and takes it seriously, because it's true, dude. It's like I was in a similar situation. I wasn't as heavy. I was, still though 240 at 5'8" is rough. And I started doing. I listened to used to listen to Andy Frisella, and I like him. I think he's a good dude. I think he does a lot of good for a lot of people, but I just can't. He's just a little too much for me nowadays.
Right.
But anyway, he started 75 hard program, and I'm like, I've heard of
that. I've never tried it.
I've always been a fan of mental tests, and this is a mental test.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, obviously it's 2 45-minute workouts a day. One has to be outside. You got to drink a gallon of water a day, but you've also got to read 10 pages of a book. You have to take a progress picture every single day. And then there's maybe one thing I missed. Oh, no alcohol, which wasn't a big deal. And then no cheat meals at all.
Yeah.
7 days a week. So that is mental. The no cheat meals, and it wasn't a specific diet. You could pick whatever diet you wanted to be on or whatever,
Right.
So for me, it was just like no fried foods, no Coke, whatever. But you couldn't be on the cheeseburger diet, right? Like it had to be some kind of actual healthy food intake. But those things were mental. The physical aspect, the 2 45-minute workouts a day, there was no specific. If you were 500 pounds and all you could do was get up and walk off the couch and come back and sit down and get up and walk off then that's fine. Do that for 45 minutes, right? So, I don't know. To me, it worked out, and I did it. I got really sick around like day 50 the first time, and I had to stop, and then I started up again, and I ended up losing like right around 60 pounds. I got down to like 170-ish. 172, 173, which was a little too skinny, but still, that was my goal. Like, just get this weight off.
Yeah.
And inversely of what you experienced, I was at a time in my life where I was running. Spearcrest was a year and a half old, maybe, and I was the COO of a veteran nonprofit, and there was a lot of anxiety involved in that, and I started having panic attacks after I lost all that weight.
Really?
And I thought that maybe I did something incorrectly, or I don't know. I was just in my head about it. And I drove myself to the hospital twice thinking I was having heart attacks.
Wow.
And they were like, your blood pressure's through the roof, but you're just having an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
And so
it feels like a straight up heart attack.
That's what they told me. And here's the other funny thing. I guess from where I was working out so much, I had pinched a nerve under my shoulder blade. And if I moved a certain way, it would get flared up, and it would be like in my chest. It runs underneath your rib cage and gets into your chest. So I would be having these anxiety attacks, and then I would be feeling that, and I'm like, oh, I'm dying right now.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I would curl up in a ball and be like, I'm gonna die right here. So anyway, I got through that, and I started to experience like super, super heavy anxiety, like dizzy all the time, just from the anxiousness of when is that going to happen again.
Yeah.
And I had lost all this weight. I'm like finally feeling good physically, which to your point, that was really I didn't care about how I looked, but I have 2 young boys, and I didn't want to be the fat dad that can't do anything with them because they're active, they're in sports, they're going to be 14 or 15, they're going to test me at some point, and I can't be the guy that I just didn't want to be the butterball dad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, this is unrelated to that in some ways, but, God began to open doors at Spearcrest, and I had this thought one day like, oh, you could just leave. You could just resign your position as COO. Instantly, all the anxiety was gone. And it was like a thought that I don't know, it was like he planted that in my head. And all the anxiety went away. But then at that point, we started getting super busy with Spearcrest, and I used that for an excuse for a long time. Now I've put on I'm back up to 200.
Yeah.
And so started going back to the gym actually this week to try to, because I'm like, okay, the butterball dad visions are coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anyway, man, I think it's weird how in both situations, God used anxiety in a way to like drive us. He let me lose all that weight and then allowed me to go through this anxiousness to get me in a place where I'm so much more at peace mentally.
Well, and what's crazy is, we are human, and we were created with a very intentional design. And I say that to say, earlier I mentioned cortisol, and I don't want to go too deep into everything that I've learned over
cortisol, the stress hormone.
Right. So, there's a reason why, like, our body, how we are physically and mentally, will manifest itself in the inverse manner. Mm-hmm. If you're physically out of shape, it's going to manifest itself mentally. Mm-hmm. If you're mentally not right, if you have a mental imbalance somewhere in your body, it's going to manifest itself physically.
Yeah.
And so cortisol has a lot to do with that. You know, the reason that, like, your body does naturally produce a healthy amount of cortisol, but if you are unhealthy, you can produce too much cortisol, which causes in turn a lot of visceral fat, which is fat around your organs, and inflammation essentially, which then in turn manifests itself mentally through anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
And so you're like, man, if I'm unhealthy one way, I'm probably going to be unhealthy the other way.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I got, was like, I'll be honest, Matt, Matt Morris that we talked about earlier in the episode, he was really gracious to me. He should have called me out way before this. He jokes now. He says it all the time. He's like, I should have spoke up way too soon or way earlier. I'm like, yeah, you probably should have.
It's weird though. You know, it's your boy. You don't want to like.
Right. And he was, but I wasn't in a place, during that time I was unhealthy. I was very physically unhealthy, and I was very mentally unhealthy. To be vulnerable. Like I was literally having panic attacks. Like there was reasons why I was having panic attacks. And so, mentally I'm unhealthy, physically I'm unhealthy. And so Matt goes, man, if you just take care of your physical body and see what happens.
Yeah.
And for so long I'd be like, it's not it. That's not, we don't have to worry about that right now. And so finally, if anyone's listening to this and you're, like I said, I don't want to be that guy that loses a bunch of weight and then just tells everybody like, hey, you should do it too.
But you have the perspective of being that guy though.
Right.
And you can feel the difference.
And so, that's kind of just like my testimony is like, man, mentally right now, there's so much clarity, and there's so like my mind is so much better. There's no other way to put it. I think there is something mental about it. You have a military background, so you can speak to this. I was never in the military. I've always been super fascinated with military. I've done a lot of military reading, and so when I was in high school, my dream was I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. In another world, maybe that could have happened.
To be a fighter pilot, dude.
Yeah,
that was too stupid.
And I just
they were like, "Nah, bro, you're going to be in the Marines. You're dumb."
Yeah, I thought I was going to play baseball, and that didn't happen. I was 5'8". So one thing I will say is, one thing that I really do appreciate about Navy SEALs specifically is it's what you said earlier. It's like these mental tests. It's like looking at something mental and going, all right, I'm going to do that. And just being able to tell your body, like there's something both very spiritually healthy and physically healthy about being able to tell your body, hey, you're not in control. Like I'm in control. And so I think that like that goes with fasting. Like, one thing that I have tried to incorporate as a regular routine in my life is fasting. And I don't want to go too far into that because I do think that there's blessing in not boasting about fasting and everything. But I will say when you integrate fasting as a regular routine in your life, it is so good for everything. I know that there's probably women that listen to this, but men, if you're listening to this and you're struggling with porn, if you fast, you are literally telling your body, I am in control.
Yeah.
And that is going to manifest itself in other ways. Hey, if I have this temptation and my body says, I need this, no, my mind is telling my body, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Same thing with food. Same thing with any addiction, alcohol, anything that any vice that you feel like has come into your life. Like there is something so spiritually and physically healthy about being able to mentally say, you do not need that.
Yeah, you have full control.
Right.
There was a guy we had on the podcast. I don't want to get off on a rabbit hole too much, but since fasting got brought up, Daniel Stanton. He's a client of ours, and he is in Lafayette, Indiana. And he was our first ever guest we had on the show. And he's 30, young, maybe just turned 30, maybe 31, something like that. And he got diagnosed with a very aggressive squamous carcinoma, some kind of cancer. It was, external tumor. I know where you're going with this. Very aggressive. He fasted.
Can't wait.
He fasted. He made it 43 days, and since then
46, I think.
Yeah, maybe 46 days.
Let's not undercut the man here.
Yeah, whatever. 46. 46 days, we'll say. Water only for 46 days. He would take Celtic sea salt, and he would use some of these like lighting sensors that help you get energy. They reflect the light off your body back into your body at certain points. You know, you put them.
Yeah.
He speaks really highly of them. He said if he tries to go to sleep with one of them on, your body emits light, and so it just reflects it back into your whatever sensors. Anyway, I don't know enough about it, but he said it works so well that he can't sleep with them in. Like it's producing energy in his body. So that's what got him through for 46 days. And since then, he's done multiple dry fasts, and the cancer's now just falling apart.
Yeah.
It's just like it has nothing to feed on. And he'll eat now, but only veggies and fruit, no meat, no protein, just because of the regimen with the cancer. Protein
Right.
can feed cancer cells in certain cases. But, he is like every day it's just falling apart. It's cracking apart. And the cancer doctors, they gave him they were like, you have to do this super, I'll tell you off camera, but they were like, you have to do this super intrusive surgery now. Like we're going to rush this. We're going to get you in the hospital next week. We're going to do this surgery. And he's like, whoa, this is my decision. They're like, no, like you're going to die if you don't do this. And he was like, I'm not doing that. Like I'm 30 years old. I'm not doing this permanent surgery. And just a really cool story. He's a Christian too, so he's had to really lean on God. He got on the podcast and kind of talked through, what that looked like. But fasting.
I'd love to talk to him. I mean, I've done a lot of research
that'd be
on
such
fasting.
a cool conversation.
That would be cool. That
Yeah.
would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
You can go check him out. He's got like he's amassed a really big TikTok following because he just gets on there and he is who he is. And he'll just like straight up call the doctors out, and he's like, these people told me I had to do this, and he's like, I've been doing this for, I guess it was in November he got diagnosed, so coming up on a year.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's going away. It's completely going away.
Well, the things that your body starts doing to itself after 48 hours of fasting.
Autophagy and all that.
It's the simplest way you can talk about it is it basically just starts clearing house.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, there's something bad in here, get rid of it.
Yeah.
So there's one guy that claims, and there has been some research done to back this up. I don't know how much extensively, and I could get this wrong, but he does claim that if you do a 7-day fast one time in your life, you are 60% less likely to have cancer and Alzheimer's.
I've seen that guy. I've seen that guy. And so that's where I think that guy is who Daniel heard about.
Yeah.
And then started doing a bunch of research and found a guy who practices this.
Yeah.
Not that particular guy that you're mentioning. I know he's an older guy.
Yep.
Yeah. And so then just this guy was like, look, man, this is what you need to do, and kind of coached him through it. He's like, it's going to suck.
Which is another, we talked about Philip Anthony Mitchell earlier in this podcast in 2819, but I just saw a video the other day, and he was talking about fasting. And so the way that he talked about it was so awesome, because his point he was making is, if you are a Christian, you do not have the right to not fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus never says, like, hey, you should probably fast. Like, he literally looks at his disciples and says, when you fast,
Yeah. There was no if.
do this.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like the God of the universe was telling us to do something that would be beneficial to us,
Right.
right? So, when you think about fasting, it's like it's kind of been this thing really within the Christian world. Like, we should be the ones showing people how fasting is done. And now it's like all these nutritionists are like, look at all these benefits of fasting.
Yeah.
And you're like,
that, like they just figured it out.
like our God told us this thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Like, we need to fast. It's good for us. It's good for us spiritually. It's good for us physically. And so, it's hard. I mean, fasting is hard. That's why it's fasting.
Last time I fasted, I went 24 hours, and then I ordered ribs from Texas Roadhouse. And
Such a bad way to break a fast.
full rack of ribs. Thought I was going to die.
It's such a
My
bad
heart
way.
rate was
You
probably 220.
Almost died.
My heart rate was probably 220 for a solid hour after that.
Your body was like taking mortar fire.
Oh, dude, I felt
going on?
awful. It was a huge mistake. So
How was that BM?
what?
How was that bowel movement?
Oh, I don't listen, man.
Oh, I figured that would be
the
something.
following
worth remembering.
24 hours were a blur.
Yeah.
I didn't eat almost again for another 24 hours because I was recovering from the ribs.
Yeah, you're supposed to break a fast.
Yeah, it
with
was like some
something-
toast or like a
Yeah,
broth.
very light in carbs,
Yeah.
like very kind of high protein. I think so. I did a. I'll just say it. I don't
I
talk about it much.
I know that there are some biblical things that are like, don't talk about your fast.
Right. So,
but I think
I
also
did a
giving
72-hour
instruction is
fast
fine.
earlier this year, and the blessing that came from it was incredible. I really prepped myself for it, and I encourage anybody to do it. I did it during Holy Week. I think it was awesome, and so I broke my fast, I think, with like some fish and some veggies. But that whole time, Matt was talking to me, and he was like, "Yeah, man, whenever you break this fast," he was like, "I think the last time I fasted for a lengthy amount of time, I ate like a large pizza afterwards."
Oh, dude! Oh my god!
I was like, I think I would die right now if I had one slice of pizza.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's funny. How
if
your
you're
body
gonna
can do it.
fast, break it well. If you're gonna fast, eat a lot of protein before you fast. And
Sustain it a little
also,
bit
this
longer.
is just kind of knick-knacky, me saying this. I think when I was doing my research, I found that like 5 calories doesn't really break a fast. So you can take electrolytes. Like I did like the sugar-free liquid IV. Like you can do that.
Nice.
So like
Yeah, for
put
me,
some electrolytes in your body.
you know, I want to go full tilt.
Yeah.
I want to try to go about 5 days. Tim went 5 days, and we had matcha. We bought some matcha. You ever had matcha?
Yeah, I love matcha.
Bro,
Dude,
so good. Made me feel
saved-
super weird the first time I took it. Though.
Saved my life
Yeah.
that week.
But he took matcha, and you went 5 days, and for me, first of all, I agree that you fast for a reason. For me, spiritually is really what I'm after. I want to have a good spiritual fast, and I've been being called to it. Like I can feel the Holy Spirit. Like you need to fast. So
It's
I want to
the
do
prayers
it.
for me, dude. Like
Yeah.
the way you have to pray to when you're praying to not eat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you're praying for
To
the strength
for the
to get
sustenance.
through it.
You're
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
against your flesh.
Oh,
it's
it's
like
wild.
you're literally saying, God, I need you because my flesh is crying for food.
Yeah.
Like everything
Yeah.
about me needs food right now, but
Yeah.
I need you more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
good,
it
man.
shuts it up too. Like the like you were talking about earlier with porn, like whatever voice of temptation that you struggle with, well, that's gonna be gone
Yeah,
more or less.
it does. I mean,
I don't
it's-
want to. I don't. Well, yeah. I mean, it totally disappears when you're deep into a fast. After I'd say probably 3 days,
Yeah.
it was just like the only focus is above.
Yeah. Which is
Wow.
why God says when you fast. Like,
Yeah.
He doesn't say if you fast. It's like it is a command.
Yeah.
Like, we
And I think
should
American
fast.
churches avoid that a lot. Matt doesn't, which I'm thankful for. 2019 doesn't, but the churches that I grew up in, I always talk about them. They probably hate me. Because I'm always dogging on them. They're not bad
They
churches,
don't-
okay?
At this point, Ronnie, they don't watch.
Oh, they're not
anymore.
listening. No, they're not listening. But I'm not trying to dog on them. I'm just saying there's something about they never talked about that. It was we're going to go eat fried chicken and mashed potatoes, and Susie cooked a
Southern
great.
Baptist, bro.
Yeah. That's just how it is. There's no you need to be healthy. You are called to be healthy. You are a reflection of the Spirit that lives within you, and if you are not healthy, what's that saying?
What do you reflect?
Right? And that was something
Yeah.
for me too. I'm like, we've talked about this, and this is hot topic, right? Like maybe not even a hot topic, but it's debatable. But I mean, one of the sins that especially evangelical Christians in America never talk about is gluttony.
Because it hurts people's feelings.
Because it hurts your feelings. But guess
Yeah.
what, man? You're very easily willing to condemn the guy that drinks alcohol or whatever, right? Whatever
Or does-
particular sin he does.
Does anything that you can't find justification for in your own
But
mind.
you will not
No.
talk about the sin of gluttony. And for me, that's a real problem. I mean, and I'm not the pinnacle of health. Like I'm not, again, like you are trying to be this guy that lost this weight and be like, the church is wrong. But the
Right.
church is wrong here. The church needs to call out, hey, if you are wanting to point people to Christ, the first way you do that is through shining his light. If you are grossly overweight, people don't want that, right?
Yeah.
They want what you, and I'm not saying, again, you don't need to be Stone Cold Steve Austin
and it's
but you
not
should
because it's not because what they want or don't want, but it's like you said, you're trying to.
it's a work
reflect.
in you. Christ is working in you, and that comes physically, spiritually, mentally.
Yeah,
And so I do think that we it's something that doesn't get talked about. I'm not saying we need to be bodybuilders. I'm saying we should be healthy as Christians. You know, we're going to call out particular sins. We're never going to call out the sin that causes us to get to a place where we look unhealthy. And so for me, it's just something that drives me crazy.
I think people in North America just have a really unhealthy relationship with food.
Agreed.
In general. And I say that only because I had such an unhealthy relationship with food for the longest time. And, you know, it took me a while to see, like, food is calories and calories are our fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we are putting too much fuel in our body, that fuel has to be stored somewhere. And the way that our bodies store fuel is super unhealthy.
Yeah.
So if we're not getting rid of that fuel, like, you're gonna be unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took me a while to look at food. And I'm not sitting here saying that, like, you know, I'm not at home eating lettuce and chicken.
Hey,
all
look,
day.
bro, I had a Pop-Tart last night.
Yeah, like,
I confess.
dude, that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with eating and enjoying food. Like, I think when we get to heaven, we're going to enjoy food.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that either.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, this can even be a day-to-day thing. Now, I will say, like, you mentioned something earlier about, like, the 75 hard and no cheat meal.
That's a lot.
A little caveat to that is, like, you know, I'm kind of one of those guys that once I get committed to something, like, I only see that commitment.
Mm-hmm.
If you're considering going on a diet, do not go into a diet thinking, well, I'll give myself cheat meals.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't go into a marriage saying, well, I'll give myself cheat days.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, make a commitment and, like,
once a week, baby.
Yeah,
We're going
like,
out.
Listen,
right.
some people would.
Yeah, exactly. And some people do.
Some people have done it.
And so if
Not
you're
me.
going to make a commitment, especially if it's a spiritual commitment of getting healthy
Yeah.
for not just physical reasons, but, like, you have a legitimate spiritual conviction to get healthy, do not go into a diet and say, well, I'll just look for those cheat days.
Yeah, and then because also it's like you're looking forward to the Saturday.
Yeah.
Like my life's gonna suck Monday through Friday, but on Saturday I get to eat that cheeseburger. And it's like
You don't go into any other commitment like that. Like, when you sign a job contract, you don't go into it going, well, I'm going to be a really good employee, but some days I'm going to be a real bad one.
Yeah.
Like, some people probably do, but, you know, I'm
After
just
2
like,
o'clock.
yeah, exactly. Like, if you're going on a diet, like, let me just encourage you, because I would fall tempted. Like, I would be tempted of this. And my diet is like, man, you've eaten real good lately. Like, just go eat that ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
you deserve it, man.
yeah. And
That's your enemy though, dude.
yeah, to an extent, yeah.
That's
But
your
then
flesh.
also, like, you know, the moment I open that ice cream tub, like, who's to say when I'm gonna stop doing that? You know, if I made a commitment to get healthy, don't cheat. Like, don't look at life in a way where you're like, oh, well, I'll make a commitment, but some days I'll break it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dude, if you go on a diet for 3 months, go on a diet for 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm probably being a little hard there, but
Look, bro,
like,
that's how I am. I cannot. That's why 75 hard worked for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for everybody because I think you can hurt yourself.
it's not
on
called
it, too.
75 easy.
Right. And there's no 75 medium. Like I've
Yeah.
heard people like, well, I'll just do everything except the water. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, look,
Yeah.
and I'm not like, I'm not in the 75 hard cult. All right. I'm just saying I did it for the mental, can I do this? Can I mentally hang in there?
Oh, and that's what I was going to say about the Navy SEALs earlier is, so the way that I kind of live my life in a form of, there's an old Navy SEAL kind of motto. It's not really like their official motto, but this comes from, it actually, the first time I heard about it was in Lone Survivor, if you've ever seen that movie or read that book. But Shane Patton, one of the SEALs that was in that story, has a quote that's often attributed to him, and now it's used pretty heavily within the Navy SEAL world, is anything that is worth doing in moderation is worth overdoing.
Mm-hmm.
And to sometimes an unhealthy extent, like, that's how I live my life. Even when I was unhealthy, like, dude, if I'm going to eat wings, I'm going to eat 30.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I might not eat 30 wings.
That's
but
the way
like,
I've been, too.
But like, if I'm going to, now I've kind of triggered that to be like, okay, use this in a healthy way. If I'm going to make a commitment, if I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this. Like if it is worth doing, do it. If you're going on a diet for this amount of time to lose this amount of weight, commit to that.
It's funny you say that, dude, because my wife and I have debated about this. She's pretty good at like, she can eat moderately and then enjoy, like not a cheat meal, but she can enjoy good food that I would consider to be a cheat meal, but also live in moderation.
Right.
I can't.
No.
I can't live in the balance. I have to be all the way one way or I'm all the way the other.
Yeah.
And so for the last, probably 6 months, I've been all the way the other, right? And so for me, that's why 75 Harder, like a program where this is the thing I'm doing and this is just what I'm doing. Yeah. I have to be that way. I can't give myself any wiggle room, because if there's any wiggle room, that wiggle room is going to manifest into this huge ordeal where I just...
There's a reason there's a saying that says,
know.
if you give an inch, someone will take a mile.
Yeah.
I mean,
your body will
if
do
you
that.
give me an inch, I'm going to take 50 miles.
That's how a lot of people are. But you have to make the commitment, and that's the other thing too. It's like a lot of people are that way, but they're scared to commit one way.
Yeah.
They're scared to commit to the healthy way, because then they realize there's not even a little bit of that good stuff that they enjoy that gets to creep in. And that's hard. That's a hard decision to make.
Yeah.
And that's why I think putting timelines on it. Like, I'm not going to do this forever because I can't. But for the next 90 days, I can do it.
Yeah.
And then I can live in moderation for a while and then get back on this. And so I think proper planning too, is something that is missed.
And that's what it is. A diet is all about planning. I posted a video about this last week, and I don't want to use this podcast as a plug for videos, but the basis of the video was talking about caloric deficit. So there's one tried and true way throughout all of human history that people lose weight. Basically, like, if people do the keto diet and there is success in that, and people do these all natural diets and there is success in that, but everything breaks down to calories. If you're eating less carbs, you're eating less calories. If you're eating more naturally, you're eating less calories. But I say that to say that the best way to look about calories is if you are eating a set number of calories a day. For example, like every day I've tried to eat about 15 to 1,600 calories, because I know that I burn about 2,700. So a 500 to 1,000 calorie deficit a day is what's going to help you lose a lot of weight over a certain period of time. That's what I've committed to. But I don't always eat 1,500, 1,600 calories of chicken breast or 1,500, 1,600 calories of this. It's a budget for me. My only state of mind is I have this many calories to work with, and however I want to spend those calories, I can spend them. But once I hit my budget, once I hit my limit, then I can't spend.
I like that. Yeah.
So, a calorie is a calorie. There's no difference in calories that you take in. Some of them are more natural than others, obviously, and can be better for you. But, if I want to have a piece of cake, and that cake is, 400 or 500 calories, that's 400 or 500 calories that I allocated to my daily calorie intake. Like I would a budget. Hey, if I need to spend this amount of money, I'm going to spend it on this. Now I got to work with what I got left.
Right.
So not every day I'm sitting there eating super, super clean.
Right.
You just have to look at it as, all right, this is my budget of calories that I have. How do I spend those?
I like that.
So if you want to have a Pop-Tart, like go have a Pop-Tart, just know that subtracts
800 calories.
However many calories it is off of your daily intake.
I think they really are like 350.
Dude, they're
calories.
so good though. So they make these Pop-Tarts now
350
that
ain't
are
bad.
like
Cinnamon Pop-Tart soaked in
I
milk.
ain't mad
I like
at
them. I like them
350.
soaked
Is it
in
350? Is that what a Pop-Tart is?
I don't
think-
know.
I think it's actually
He said that.
360.
I'm saying if it's 350,
It's not bad.
milk. But it's a
I
pack.
ain't
You don't
mad
just
at
eat
that.
one Pop-Tart. What are you, a psycho? You got to eat both.
oh,
they
it's
come in a
350
2-pack.
per tart
350 per tart.
No, I don't think it's 350
Okay,
per
I
tart.
was about to say that.
per pack.
Yeah.
Hold on.
for
Hold
a
on,
2-pack.
Dude, you want to hear something? This is from another day and age. I shouldn't even be promoting this because it's going to make people want to do it. I used to make a Pop-Tart sandwich.
Oh yeah.
All
That
right.
sounds delicious.
You take a chocolate fudge pack of
This
Pop-Tarts.
sounds like 270 you.
This is 270 me speaking. And then you put like a spoonful of peanut butter in between two chocolate
God.
fudge Pop-Tarts. Dude.
Jesus.
That
help us.
sounds so good. Look, hey,
Hey,
y'all ever had cookie
mess
butter?
with the kid, mess with the fat kid, and you will
Oh, yeah.
learn some stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Y'all ever had cookie butter
Cookie
with
butter.
some pretzels?
On.
With
Yes.
some pretzels.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
on.
we had cookie butter. What's that?
I hadn't either until like 3
so
days
good.
ago, and then my kids were like, well, "I want cookie butter with pretzels," and I'm like, "What's cookie butter?" Don't do it, Tim. Turns all your bad feelings into good feelings.
You're going to tell me what it is, or I'm going to go find out on the streets.
It's so good, dude.
All right, how many calories are in a 2-pack of Pop-Tarts? Hold on.
So they make these new Pop-Tarts now. By the way, they're like protein Pop-Tarts.
Keep it.
They are not the same.
Just keep it, dude. I don't want it.
They
I don't
are
want
only
protein
like
in my
180
Pop-Tarts.
calories. It is
Okay.
a nice little treat, but like it's not the same.
A pouch with 2 pastries, depending on the flavor, contains somewhere between 370 and 400 calories.
Okay, now tell me how many carbs are in there. Because it's all refined. Just refined carbs.
It's the worst thing you can put in your body. That's why they're so good. You know what's crazy is when I
Not
was
to
a
even
kid,
mention the colors that go into it.
69
69
total
carbs.
carbohydrates. Yeah.
That's a lot.
And the
that
brown
bad?
sugar
Okay.
is my favorite, and it has hold on.
What's that?
Total carbs for the pack is 96.
That's so many carbs,
Yeah.
dude.
What's
Oh,
that?
yeah.
What's that double fudge though?
Oh no,
Dude, the double fudge
me
is
the
the
stats.
best.
Cinnamon's my favorite. I'm a cinnamon guy.
And some people can be wrong.
What's the double fudge, man?
I got the time to go through that right
It's
now.
like I had 3 yesterday.
I need to know. I need to know. I'm deducting
know
it
what
from
to
my
do.
today's budget. Yeah.
Do I get more calories tomorrow if I save them today?
You could just eat 2 double fudges and then just not eat the rest of the day. You know,
You could.
I've done that.
realistically.
I've done that.
eat some ramen noodles and 2 double fudge.
I'm 24
Pop-Tarts.
hours on 2 chocolate fudge Pop Tarts.
Yeah.
I've done that just out of.
It's like I'm having these doxycycline dreams
Yeah.
on Pop Tarts.
Oh man. What if that was your diet? Just doxycycline and
I can't be
Pop-Tarts?
too hard because, guys, when I tell you that this is not an exaggeration, 270 Austin was housing 3 to 4 bags of sour gummy worms a week.
That's craziness. That's
Yeah.
craziness.
I'm not.
That's not an exaggeration.
And that had red 40 in it.
Oh,
A lot of it. A lot of red 40.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Weird.
show me where a sour gummy worm grows in nature. You're like,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, so like that's what Daniel was talking about. You know, he was like,
And sweet tea.
"Oh, dude, I love a cane sweet tea."
We would go to Texas Roadhouse or Mark's. I'd have 5 sweet teas.
Good God.
That's a lot of sweet teas.
Did you just sweat the whole time?
Like, my urine smells real good.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's rough.
That's how I know when to
5 sweet teas
stop
is a lot.
drinking coffee for the day. By the way,
Yes.
Like
One-
when the pee
oh,
starts
yeah.
smelling like coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When it smells like a fresh cup.
Why is it steamy?
Like, all right.
Look, man, I've got
had it
TMJ a
now.
little bit, and if I drink too much coffee, it'll start like locking up. That's when I know I've hit my limit. My like
TMJ.
head, it's like lockjaw.
I get a little.
Oh,
bit of
okay.
this,
So like my head will start doing this, and like the muscle up here will start twitching. And I'm like, all right, dude,
I thought you
I've
were
had
about to
too
go into
much.
like some deep military PTSD
No,
stuff or
no.
something.
I got TMJ
I was like, what is
in
this?
the core. Actually, that's probably where I got it for real.
Yeah,
But
my eyes get big. It's like this sometimes. If
yeah,
I get too,
you
too
feel like
much
you're having a little bit of a
caffeine,
heart
I'm
attack.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Hey, for real, we'll be on the morning podcast recordings.
Tim, why's your jaw moving so much?
Everybody's he just keeps going like this. His teeth are itchy.
I feel this in my toes.
Yeah. Well, man, this has been fun, dude. We got another guy coming in here in a few minutes, so we're have to wrap. But I've enjoyed this, dude. I want to have you back on again sometime, man.
No, that'd be awesome. Thanks
So-
for having me, and it was fun to hang out.
Yeah, I'd like to have you and
Yeah,
your dad
brother.
on at the same time. Sometime that'd be funny.
Yeah, no,
I
that
think-
would be pretty funny.
Yeah, I think one day we got to do like a super episode.
We have a lot of guests.
All
come
the
in.
guests.
Also, I would like to get you in here to meet Daniel.
Does
'Cause
this
that
mean
would
I
be
make
cool.
like the All Stars? Am I like an All Star?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, dude. Should
Let's
get
go,
it.
dude.
We got a
Hey,
golden
we should
star.
we should
Let's
get guests like some jerseys or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
amen at that.
once
But the
we-
logo is my face. The logo is my face though.
Now I gotta
so
wear a
it would
shirt
just be
with you
my
on it.
face on there. Yeah, we'd have to do something.
Yeah. You talked about wanting to change that.
Yeah, we need to change it
but
because it's weird.
I like it.
A little bit. I mean, it's a cool logo, but it's just my face, so it's not like brandable in like gear.
No,
Because it's just like, oh look, there's Ronnie on my coffee cup.
it's all right.
It's weird.
I'd use it.
Anyway.
Well, no, I appreciate you guys having me, and yeah, I love talking. So
Yeah, man, it's been
Anytime.
awesome, and I think there was a lot of value, a lot of cool things we talked about, and so I hope it
Yeah.
blesses somebody, man.
absolutely.
yeah, and we'll do it again for sure.
Yeah, I like the idea of an all-star episode. Let's write that down somewhere. Put that in
I
your
was
head.
just kidding. I'm not an All Star.
Yeah, you are, dude.
You don't decide.
Oh,
You don't
okay,
decide
sorry.
that.
Yeah, you're not on the committee. All right. Guys, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate the show, share the show. We're growing this thing organically. We hope you guys got some value and a blessing out of this show. We will see you on the next episode.
Yeah, There's a war going on inside. Just to name a couple, I battle with porn and pride. In a persistent struggle, a reoccurring huddle. A prayer meeting with me and the Holy Spirit. Feeling free, but no, I'm nowhere near it. But thank God for his conviction. The awkward part of me that may leave others to suspicion and call me into question. I confess my addiction. Know it's a lethal weapon. May compromise the mission. Being proselytized from this humanistic system. You think about that until